Well, all right.
Is it Friday yet?
No.
Oh no, we're a day early today.
We are.
We're being prompt.
We're ahead of the schedule.
Yes.
I like that. That's not very common that we do that. No, it's good. Well, we have to. We're going to be busy the next couple of days with some great advisors coming to town.
Yeah, I love when advisors come in, whether they're currently with us or new ones coming to get a little bit more education and training and get to know us the same.
That's
It's always
true.
good times. I like it. I enjoy it.
Welcome to Motivate You, everybody. The podcast brought to you by Motivate Advisors, Motivate Investments, talking to you about different ways that you can become a better business owner and elevate your practice to the next level. I like when advisors come in
Yes,
because I get good food
this is true.
and I am not scared to eat.
No, where there's no definitely, I don't think I eat, well, I was just going to say, I don't think I eat dessert as often as I do when we're advisors, but then again, I probably have ice cream every night. So that would have been a lie.
You're very little, so you should never tell people I don't eat.
Well, no, I was going to say dessert is often, but then I actually caught myself because I eat ice cream pretty much every night.
Well,
So-
so tonight sounds like a tiramisu night,
Ooh,
if you've asked me. I tried the cheesecake, just didn't kill it last time.
No, I had the lemon one, which was good, but yeah, it just didn't have the tiramisu oomph.
Oh, it is so good. We go to one place, one restaurant in our area where the grandmother still makes all the desserts by hand every
Yes.
day.
I loved hearing that. I thought he was
Oh.
kidding the first time.
No, that stuff is legit. That's
Mhm.
some legit New York heaven.
Anytime grandma's in the kitchen, you're getting good food.
You hope. That would be, otherwise it doesn't seem very grandma-ish.
No.
Is that a
I
word?
suppose not.
Grandma-ish?
Grandma-ish. It is now.
So how you been?
Good.
What's new?
Oh, lots of craziness going on. I think, I often laugh when I, just talk to the advisors and they're like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, crazy busy running around. They're like, are you never not busy? And I said, if I'm bored, that's usually dangerous. So I'm always happy to be very, very busy.
It's probably safe. Well, if I'm bored, I usually just take everybody else off task,
Right.
which is dangerous in itself. So.
Yeah. So it's better that both of us are constantly busy. And that's always a good thing. That means business is going on, stuff
Yep.
is happening. So we'll take it all day long.
Stuff is happening. I am selling a home and buying a home.
Fun.
And that has been about as much fun as getting punched in the face several times by Mike Tyson wearing spiky knuckle guards.
And then maybe even going for the ear.
Oh, dear Lord. This thing has been an absolute nightmare. And it's really tough when you hand your life over to someone
Mm-hmm.
and they can control such a big portion of it. You have zero control in it.
Right.
It's really, really, really tough. And it really kind of reinforced what we do
Mm-hmm.
from an advisory standpoint, and the importance of really taking the time to explain to the clients, because it's their money, right? They
Right.
earned this money. They took this time out of their day to come sit down with you and get to know you and discuss whether or not you could be the right person to help them. And they've got to put a lot of faith into you.
A lot of faith and a lot of trust.
Yeah. You got to show a ton of value,
Mhm.
to really make it worthwhile. But today's customer service is horrible. So I'll
it
tell you guys a
really
story.
is.
We're coming back from Tampa one day.
Oh no.
And we've got myself, Cassie, Chris, Linda, and we all stop because we decide that we want to get a really, really healthy meal.
Yes.
And so we go to Wendy's.
Why
and-
wouldn't we?
Right. Makes total sense. So we go in and we order this Wendy's, and this place, I'm not kidding, every step you took, you squeaked and like stuck to the floor.
Yes.
And it was not good.
Mm.
So we stayed there.
So we decided to get our food anyways.
Because that didn't throw us enough of a curveball.
Right.
The fact that it
We were really
smelled
hungry.
really bad and our feet were sticking to the floor. But we get our food, and Linda gets her food. She runs out, and then they give myself and Cassie our sandwiches. And I said to the gentleman, great. Now we're just missing our drinks. And he looks at me right in the eye and he says to me, I do the sandwiches, not the drinks.
Mhm.
And he walked away.
And mind you,
I do
it's
the
a
sandwiches.
self-serve drink, and he
He doesn't have to pour
literally
it.
had to turn around and grab 2 cups for us.
Yeah. And I know that was
Turn
putting him
around.
out. I do the sandwiches, not the drinks. And he left, and we all just kind of shook our heads. We eventually get the drink from the drink guy
Right.
who does the drinks, not the sandwiches.
Handed us our cups.
He handed us our cups. We get them and we go fill up, and they're missing like half of the different types of sodas are not even available. but we squeaked over there. Our feet stuck the whole way over there. We get in the truck. We're driving home. We open up our sandwiches and they are what?
Ugh, cold and old. I actually,
Disgusting.
and we're super laid back. I mean, we're those people that are like, it's fine, no big deal, it's cool. We know you're busy, never complain about anything.
Sure.
I remember I opened the wrapper and I had this very interesting smell come out. So I'm smelling my burger and everyone in the truck starts laughing at me. They're like, why are you smelling your burger? And I was like, did you guys eat this? It was cold. It was hard. It smelled funky. It was very, very unfortunate because I really wanted that Wendy's burger.
Yeah. Needless to say, neither one of us ate it.
Nope.
I'm not going to say who did. There are a couple people in the truck that actually ate their food.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names, but it wasn't me or Cassie.
We named everyone else in the truck. So
yeah, we'll leave it out there.
Yeah.
Then this last week, I'm up in Norman Beach.
Mhm.
My son has a soccer tournament. Actually, both my sons had a soccer tournament. We're up there. And I've got 4 or 5 kids in my truck that want to get some food. So we decided to go to Mickey D's. It's the only place we could find. We're staying on the water. So it's literally the only fast food joint in the area. So how long do you think we spent in the drive-thru at McDonald's?
Nowadays?
Yeah.
10 minutes.
45.
Wow.
45 minutes that we spent in the, now I get through the drive-thru and the guy says, I need you to pull up to sign number 1.
Okay.
And I said, okay. He goes, we don't have all your food yet. Just pull up to sign number 1. I said, okay, no problem. And then he points and he says, the one looks like this, right? Like,
thank you for that clarification.
Like I'm literally the dumbest person in the world because he has to explain what a number 1 looks like to me.
Oh.
So I pull up to the one that looks like what his finger showed me.
With the number 2.
And I sat there for another 10 minutes and I watched all these other cars behind me that were there later than I was continuously get their food. So finally he comes out, he gives food to another car. And I stopped him. I said, hey, excuse me. I said, we haven't gotten our food yet. He goes, it's not my issue. Literally not my issue. And I've never been the guy to call corporate. I've never been that guy, but he was so incredibly rude. And then we walked in the McDonald's to talk to a manager and it literally smelled like there had been dead bodies in there for a long period of time, which then really doesn't really help your appetite that much.
Right.
I call corporate.
Really?
I did. I never do that. I call them up. They said, we'll call you tomorrow. That was a week ago.
No call.
I still haven't heard from anyone. And it really just talks about, really what's kind of happening within business right now with all the different restaurants and businesses being short staffed,
right?
Everyone's short tempered. And what we're seeing is normal things that we would call normal customer service are now going to be upgraded to being incredible customer service just because of the fact that they gave you a sandwich and a drink.
Right. The expectations are they exceedingly low? So if someone's doing a good job, maybe average, that's, exponential compared to everybody else.
Yeah. It's really, really a place. Now, where's the opportunity in this? The opportunity is you can be the complete opposite.
Right.
You can be the 5-star financial advising company right now and get your name out there and do things differently, which will help in extraordinary ways. It can absolutely take your practice to the next level. As long as you are doing the most important things that you can do to help your client get to the next level. And that's really important. So the recommendation I would make for you right now is to sit down with your team. If you're on your own, sit down with your group or call us. We'll sit down with you and have a conversation about what's working, what's not. But let's take an inventory of your business and let's know what's going on with your business from the inside out. One thing that you like to point out to people though quite a bit is where are your numbers?
Right.
We ask this question, and what would you say on a percentage base when you're talking to advisors? You talk to a lot of advisors every single week. What would you say on a percentage basis is the number of advisors that don't actually know their numbers yet are quote unquote business owners?
Well, and when we talk about numbers, it's, what's your ROI on marketing? What's your conversion from a close ratio, from an appointment ratio? Marketing budget. Do you have that kind of nailed out? So if we were to take all those things into consideration, I would say the amount of advisors that do not have that information or do not track it is about 95%.
That's high.
It's very high. It's very high. And, I always say, and it's joking, but it's not, in our business, the main goal, if you are being a fiduciary and you're able to do investments and look at their taxes and the insurance all at the same time, is you put a plan together for your client. You have to know the numbers and you have to know the data before you can make any recommendations. That's the suitable thing to do. That's the fiduciary thing to do. But I think people get so wrapped up in the day-to-day of just trying to close cases that they have not taken the time to make that plan for themselves. And then they don't have a way to gauge or track. The only way they know if they're successful is what is in my bank account right now.
Sure. And theoretically, there may be more if you would have done it more efficiently. But I think a lot of that's part of the industry. Mm-hmm. I think the industry is basically like throw a bunch of money, cast a wide net, and then hope to hell that you make money back. I mean, right. I think
close what you can, get in front of them quick.
Yeah, low hanging fruit is a common thing I hear from people all the time. Is go after the low hanging fruit. Get the easiest stuff, try to make them clients, and then try to go for the stuff later that's going to make the most amount of sense for them. There's a lot of industry chatter about what's going to work for marketing, what's not. Mm-hmm. And what I'm finding from a lot of these marketing organizations that we quote unquote compete with is they never really sit down and show people exactly what the ROI is going to be or what the expected ROI is going to be. They don't know that number either.
Right.
They're out there pitching this particular seminar, this particular federal program, or this particular digital marketing strategy, but they never can sit back and say, here's what we've actually seen from it. Right. And that should concern you, because depending upon where you are within your business, every dollar matters.
Of course.
I mean, every single dollar is very, very important. We just came out of a pandemic where many producers out there had a really, really tough year, and they're still trying to get things going this year. Every dollar matters. And so it's a really important part of knowing the numbers, because you also want to know where to put those dollars, right? We talk about
what's working and what's not.
Well, yeah. I mean, we talk about the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
The 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto Principle. It's been a big fan of, I've been a big fan of this principle for a long period of time. Most of you may have heard of it. I was first introduced to this in the mortgage and real estate world, where basically the concept was 80 to 90% of the business was done by 10 to 20% of the people in the business. That same numbers kind of ring true. Statistically speaking, we know 90% of our financial advisor brothers and sisters will no longer be in the business in a short period of time.
Right. Which is unfortunate.
It's terrible. And I think a lot of that comes down to training. And some of the training is also training on what the important aspect is for your business. I mean, it came up by a gentleman named Vilfredo Pareto back in 1895. It was a concept. And what he noticed was that society was divided into, what he called the vital few.
Okay.
And he said that the top 20% of people had the money and the influence, and the trivial many was the other 80% had basically very, very little of that. It was scarce. But I can also bring this all the way down to your closet.
Right.
Right. You could look and say, well, 80% of the time you're wearing 20% of your clothes.
Yeah. I think the 80-20 rule you can apply to almost anything in life. If we're looking at the business sense, probably if you're looking at your marketing, you have something that really works, that's consistent, you keep on doing that. And then maybe you try other stuff and you get some clients here from there. That's the 80-20. Your clients themselves, everybody knows their top, 10, 20, 30, 40 clients. That's probably bringing 80% of your revenue.
Sure.
And the smaller ones are 20. So I think almost anything you look at in life, in your closet, you can apply this 80-20 rule to it.
And then, yeah, you're exactly it. And it's essential though to businesses and strategic planning. It's absolutely crucial. And, years ago, I sat down with my team. Initially, I sat down with myself and just did it, but I took all of my clients and I looked and I realized that literally 90% of my revenue was coming from the top 10% of my clients. Without a doubt, 90% of the recurring revenue. The other 10% of the revenue was coming from it was
10%.
the 90-10 rule. Sorry, right. 10% of the people. Sorry, it should be easier math. Anyway, what I was realizing though was that the 10% of the revenue that was coming from 90% of my book, if you will, was costing me much, much, much more in the way of wages and salaries and team members. In fact, it was a situation where I realized that I was actually losing money on that portion of my business.
Right. Because you were paying an employee to service people
Several
that are
employees.
not generating the revenue back from those individuals to service.
Several employees. And the
Mhm.
thing is, it comes down to when you're looking at your businesses, are you running a non-for-profit or are you running a for-profit? And I donate to non-for-profits all the time. I run a for-profit entity. We all do. We all want to have our business run. And really, theoretically, your clients should want your business to be strong.
Right.
Because if your business is strong, that means that they're going to be well taken care of as well.
Mhm.
And then it comes down to also your time. So when you look at the 90-10 rule, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking your clients, would you want me to spend 90% of my time working on you and your business and your numbers and your portfolios and your strategies? Or would you rather me spending 90% of my time marketing to new people, having to get a new book in there because the fact that we're basically losing money on all of our relationships? Right.
Yeah.
That's just how it's going to come down. So knowing your numbers is very important, and realizing that you want to use, especially early in the business, high percentage closing type of marketing strategies.
Mhm.
And if you look at the 80-20 rule, I'd be willing to bet once you learned your numbers, something's going to pop up and say, hey, this is the type of strategy that you need to be doing that's going to be best for you, best for your business, short and long term, getting this thing going.
Right. And that's what you want to be able to do on a consistent basis, but you have to have the data to figure out what that is. I don't know if we mentioned it. We had one of our advisors and he was running 2 different marketing initiatives at the same time. So we really wanted to do an analysis and see which one is giving a higher ROI. And it was really interesting because the first one was actually generating more leads
Yep.
and more clients out of it.
Which for him, he thought that was the winner.
Right. So automatically he said, well, I'm going to drop the other one and just go with this. And we were like, hold on 2 seconds. Let's look at the numbers. So we actually,
and in his defense, I felt the same way up
right,
front.
when you look at it
because
initially,
the numbers, the leads were extraordinarily
right,
more.
but you're only looking at one piece of the pie at
Correct.
that point, which I think a lot of people fall into. So
Most.
what we actually did was we said how much business is coming from each of these, not how many leads, not how many prospects, what
Revenue.
about business closed?
Yeah. What's your revenue coming
from this? And, it was interesting. We found that the one that was generating less leads actually provided more revenue for him. So then step 2 was he said, okay, I'm going to stop doing this one. And we said, why are you going to stop doing either one? Both of them are bringing business in, but maybe we put a little bit more time and money to the one that is bringing in more revenue, but the other one is still running because it is bringing business in.
Yeah, so
it's
it was
finding
still a
the
lot.
balance.
Well, and the thing too is I think what you're also missing that we can point out to people is
why do you have to point out what I'm missing all the time? It's not nice.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. No, but one thing that I think a lot of us are missing is it also attracted the right type of people.
Right.
Enjoyable people that when you see in your schedule, you're like, oh, cool. And I think we all have those people on our schedule where we're like, damn, I don't want to see them this week.
Yeah.
Oh, they're here again. Oh my gosh. And if you get to the point where your business is successful enough, you can have the right calendar. You can look at your calendar and go, God, this is going to be a great week. I can't wait to see them. And so those are really, really important things. Here's a challenge I'll give each and every one of you. And this is what I would look at. Take out a piece of paper and write down 10 things that you feel like you need to do to take your business to the next level right now. Just 10 things. Write them down. Once you have all 10 of them down, I want you to circle the one that you think would have the most powerful impact on your business.
Okay.
And then circle one more, which you think would have the second most powerful impact on your business. Okay. What you're going to find after completing this exercise, that you're going to see that the first one and the second one, the most important 2, will more than likely knock out almost the rest of those goals. Almost the rest of the things that you want to do.
You mean they'll help you complete them if you have those 2 things
but you'll
done, or
also
you're going to disregard the other
No,
ones?
you'll probably complete them without even knowing it. And what will end up happening is you'll be working smarter versus working harder. My father used to always say to me, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Okay. And I agree with that. However, you want to be working hard towards the right things.
Eat the frog.
Which is the next thing. And you just took the words out of my mouth.
Yes.
It's almost like you're looking at my screen.
I'm actually not.
Eat the biggest frog first, because if you go out there and you can get those hardest things done, like one of my biggest things, one of my hardest things that for me, for some stupid reason, is dictating my appointments.
Yes, the team is aware of that.
Yeah. I don't know why. I love meeting with my clients. I love talking to them. It's the 17 or 30 seconds afterwards where I need to sit down and dictate it, which is not a big deal.
Nope.
For some reason, I make it a big deal. And then all of a sudden I'll have 20 dictations to do.
And the girls love it.
And it's really stressful on the girls. It's really stressful on the team because now all these things need to be dialed in.
I should say the ladies. Sorry, ladies.
Hey, ladies.
Yeah.
I did listen to some Beastie Boys on the way to work today.
Nice. If you guys haven't heard, and I kind of explain when we talk about eating the frog, it's when you come in the morning, what is the one thing that you know is important and you just really don't want to do it, whether you don't feel you're good at it, it's not fun to do, whatever the case may be, that's an absolute necessary, but you don't want to do it. Do that thing first. The rest of the day seems so much easier and so much simpler because you had that looming gray cloud over your head is now gone. And it's nice and sunny.
A lot of people like to work out first thing in the morning too, right?
Yeah, we did really well when we were working out in the morning.
Love how that was past tense. We were so fantastic. We were great. I still work out almost every day. I don't work on the morning anymore because I do like to sleep. But a lot of people like to wake up, knock it out. My wife's up every day at like 6 a.m. That's just her thing.
Yeah.
I am not. But a lot of people do that. But you're 100% right. If you can knock out that hardest thing for the day, it's amazing what the rest of your day looks like.
Yep.
And
then you feel accomplished that you got that hard thing done too. So it gives you a little pep in your step.
So we've gone in a couple different directions today.
We have, sorry.
We've kind of been a little bit all over the place, but I think it's important to kind of bring that. Let's circle back.
Circle back.
Let's just circle back. That's funny. Anyway. So the 80-20 rule, knowing your numbers, these things all link up. And here's how. I'm going to break it down. There it is. If you know your numbers, you can then sit down and realize the most two powerful things you can do will be your 80-20. You will have a greater impact on your business. You will have more profitability. You will start finding more balance within your life.
A little more time.
And you'll probably be happier. That's really what it comes down to. One of the worst things that you can do as a business owner is put yourself into a corner to where you're doing all the horrible, mundane, energy draining things that you're not really that good at. And there are other people who don't find that stuff boring, who don't find that stuff mundane, and who are really quite good at that. So if you back yourself into that corner, then you're going to find out that the efficiency of your business is going to lack significantly. And that's really where taking inventory from an 80-20 standpoint really, really, really makes sense. We just went through this exercise today with Motiv8 Advisors, and we our company, and structuring things and looking how the best way to continue moving forward and providing the value that we continue to provide for our advisors. How do we continue doing that moving forward? And a lot of it's 80-20 rule. And that's why we brought this to the podcast today, is just really having a firm understanding, a firm inventory of what's going on, and then taking that and running with it, because it doesn't have to be 100% all the time.
Right. You just have to be able to, apply that knowledge. And even if you're a solo entrepreneur and you have to do those mundane things until hopefully you get to the point that if you want to hire someone, you can, a virtual assistant, we talk about having very strategic days as well.
Sure.
So you have your buffer day, your free day, and I'm forgetting the third.
Your focus. Those are all things
day.
We got from Strategic Coach, have been, really, really powerful stuff.
But, structuring your time in your day, that if there's admin things you have to do, put it in your schedule and just get them done. Because then once again, the stuff that you don't want to do, it's done, it's over with, and you can move on and focus on the stuff that is within your genius or you enjoy doing.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to want to have a day where you grind. A day where you're grinding, you're going out there, you're making money, you're doing the things that you want to do. You're the catalyst for your business.
Yep.
Now, do you need to be doing that 100% of the time? No, it's going to be hard to do that. But what you'll find is if you're really, really focused, you could be utilizing the 80-20 rule on how much time you need to actually put in to have that grind have a positive impact. You're also going to have creative days, right? Days where you're fully creative. You look at your business and say, what can I do next to get to the next level? It doesn't mean you have to meet with clients that day, but you could be doing creative things to make your business better.
You're working literally on your business.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. And then you just look for days that you're completely free.
Yeah.
That you can go out there and, basically have your freedom to do what you want to do.
Enjoy life.
Yeah. And it's funny because we had some advisors in last week. And one of the advisors we were talking about said he was working on a Jeep. A Jeep Wrangler, old school Jeep Wrangler. He changed the body, cut it down, made it, this and that, added a new engine, was doing other things. And it's taken forever to get it done. And so we said, well, that's what your, your off days are, your free days where you're able to just go out there and just do what you freaking love.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. But as we were talking to him, he was saying stuff about his Jeep, and then he was talking about fixing the house.
Yep.
Right. But as we talked to him, all of a sudden I looked at him, I said, you don't like really doing either one of those things, do you? He's like, no, I'm kind of over it. I don't like fixing my house. I don't like doing these things. There's other things I'd rather be doing on my weekends where I'm out there able to be free. And so then we said, well, then you're not really rejuvenating yourself on those days.
You're still working. It's just on something else, but it's still a task at hand.
Yeah. So you've got to have that time to rejuvenate, got to have that time to put all it. And that's really what it comes down to: knowing your numbers, knowing what needs to happen, and knowing what you need to be able to do to be able to get to that point.
Yeah. Strategically focus on those things.
I hope this makes sense to everybody.
I know we kind of bounce. I think it does.
You think so?
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll find out. We'll get the emails from people saying, hey, I have no idea what the hell you just talked about. Or that was music to my ears.
Sense.
It's funny though, we talked about being focused and we're all over the place.
No, but I mean, all of them kind of work hand in hand. So if we're talking about numbers, so if we go back to the 80-20 rule, you have to know your numbers of what's going on with your business. Is it your marketing? Is it your clients? Then 80-20 rule, what are you spending time on? Are you spending the most significant amount of time on things that are important, or are you not? That can be your 80-20 rule as well. And then life. You have to have certain days so you can get work done, but you also have to be able to enjoy it. Hopefully, if it's 80% work right now, 20% free time, eventually you start to balance that out a little bit. When you want to quit, you can do 20%, 80%,
Yep.
I think it applies to all of it. See, I made it all.
You circle back. It's
brought
good.
it all together.
Do you know why you should never play poker in the jungle?
I do, but I'm not going to steal your thunder.
Because there's too many cheetahs. Nothing.
Jeez, no. Wah, wah, wah.
I know.
I'll do the sound effect for us.
I think I can find it. Nope, that's not it.
Yeah,
there it goes. There it goes.
So,
We need to have some more fun. I think we need to have some people call in, do some things on these podcasts, start bringing in some advisors. That'd be a good deal.
I agree. Yeah, bring some guests in, talk about different stuff. Yeah, and I mean, if there's anything, that we talk about or you guys want to elaborate on, or you have any questions or suggestions, always feel free to email us or give us a call. You can always reach me. I am Cassie, Cassie, at motivatedadvisors.com. And then our phones are working, 772-247-4488.
When our phones are working.
No, I said the phones are working.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
We had to get a new front desk phone. That's why I was curious as if that's why you were making the joke.
No. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, really the whole premise of this show is to be able to help you guys elevate your business, take some of the things that we've done well, or don't do some of the things that we've done poorly.
Right.
And speed up that learning curve. I love to be able to talk to you about everything. I love this business. I love what you can do to help people. And I just thank you for listening. Do me a favor, share this with your friends. Let them know about the show. It's basically just supposed to be for fun and have a good time.
Get
and
something
if there's
out of it.
anything you ever need from us, give us a call. You can go to motivateadvisors.com. That's MOTIV, the number 8 advisors.com. Or you can go to motivateinvestments.com and they can always give you a call.
Please do. Always happy to chit chat and help if we can.
And what is the best number?
772-247-4488. That is the local number.
What if they want to do toll free?
877-766-8488.
Nailed it. Talk to y'all next week.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.